This week on Not Another Shooting Show.
How did the truck gun hurt you, Jeff?
Probably 6 people shoot that gun, and I've never had someone go, I like this gun.
Have I mentioned the booby trap law in South Dakota?
Then they'll argue, my Atlas, should I upgrade to an Infinity? And it's like, you're paying $3,000 for like a 1% difference.
He should add to the rules, P320s may not shoot major 9mm ammo. I'm Andy Erickson. He's Jeff King. This is Not Another Shooting Show. I got a new gun this week, Jeff.
Oh, yay.
I got a new gun. And then I did something really, really dumb.
Excellent.
That had nothing to do with the gun or shooting or anything. But so we're in the middle of the blizzard's technically over, but it's cold as balls here in my state of South Dakota. I imagine the weather was very similar down in Omaha.
Yep.
This week, yeah. So I'm on my way back from Shields buying my new pistol, and I get a half block into my neighborhood street, like the street I have to drive on to get to my street.
Yep.
Not the main artery that, of course, is plowed constantly as the snow is falling. I get to that street, and I get a half block down, and I'm totally stuck in my four-wheel drive truck. And I'm like, son of a bitch. I mean, there's like a foot of snow on the ground still.
Yeah.
I mean, it was greasy and just not hard to get traction. I don't have like all-terrain tires. They're like city tires. And I'm like, son of a bitch. And so I'm like going back and forth. Do I have the traction control on? Yes, I did. Damn it. Okay, I shut off the traction control, and I'm still just like sliding towards the ditch. Or not the ditch, the curb. Son of a bitch. I get out. This guy with a giant F-350 and a trailer full of gear to do construction things. He tries to come down the street. I'm like, dude, I'm super stuck. I end up helping him back out because his truck was so long he couldn't get out. So I'm sitting there, and I'm on the verge. I had a snowblower in the back. I even took the snowblower out and was trying to like blow snow so I could drive away, which was very fruitless. So finally, I'm about ready to call a buddy to come pull me out, and I look over at the 4-wheel drive selector, and I'm in 2-wheel drive. Yep. That's what I did on the day I bought my new pistol. Was literally on the way home from the store. I didn't switch it to 4-wheel drive, and
then you immediately got out with no problem.
And just drove right home. I mean, I was only about 4 blocks from my house, but I put it in 4-wheel drive. I shut off the traction control. Boom, done.
It
was fine.
Awesome.
It was just fine. But so that was the dum-dum of the week, was me not knowing how to operate my truck. It was at least the thing is, I spent like 45 minutes sitting there trying to get out. That was what really pissed me off. Like, I was stuck for a while.
Yeah, that's
yeah. So on to the more interesting part. The new gun. The new gun I got is the gun I was talking about last week. It is a Smith & Wesson M&P.
Oh, damn it.
What did you think it was going to be?
I was hoping it was the High Point.
No, I didn't go there. The Smith & Wesson M&P 9 Shield Plus. I was supposed to have shot it today in my class. We're recording this on Sunday the 14th. I had 2 classes scheduled this weekend, and they both got canceled because snow drifts and blizzard wind conditions and
shocking
46 below wind chills. So they got postponed. So I was going to shoot this gun for the first time on Saturday because it was going to be my first opportunity to get to a range, and I didn't get to. So this gun is still virgin other than whatever they shot it with it in the factory. I haven't shot it yet. 2 things stand out a lot about the Shield Plus compared to the old one, and I've had the old one since 2015. It's the 2.0, so everything's pretty different grip-wise. Like, it's rougher, it's easier to hang on to. Like, You've got a 2.0 5-inch, right? Is that the one you carry? So, like, that grip is a lot different. The other thing that's really different about this gun is the trigger. It's not just the upgraded 2.0 trigger, it's a flat-face trigger. Or not flat-face, but it's like a traditional trigger.
Yeah, so that's like the 2.5.
That would be a 2.1 or something. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because they're pulling a little bit of a sig there with their like, hey, we're just gonna change this and not change the name on it or anything.
Well, it's still. I mean, I think it's the same trigger. It's just a different trigger shoe.
Yeah,
is the big difference.
Yeah, I've only seen them. I haven't handled one with that trigger yet.
I like it better than the Curly Q. A lot of people really like that curly M&P trigger. I don't mind it, but I don't love it.
Apex for life.
Yeah. Well, this is more in the shape of an Apex.
Yeah.
Like the trigger shoe is. It's a pretty broad, flat front. It's got the trigger safety in the middle, but it's not like just a little blade. It's actually kind of the whole front of the trigger then depresses into the shoe.
Right.
Which makes it so you don't even really notice that there is a trigger safety on it. It just feels like a trigger, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
It's shockingly light. I have one of those Lyman digital trigger scales, and it was now, it depends entirely on where on the trigger you put that thing, how much weight you're going to end up. So when it was out on the end, it was sub 4. When it was kind of in the middle, it was like 4 to 4.5 where it broke. I was really surprised because my 1.0 Shield was like, I mean, that was the old trigger system too. They changed it a lot, I guess. It was... that thing is quite stout. I don't think I've ever put it on the trigger scale, but it's a lot heavier. Like getting through that wall is tough. So
yeah,
that was the big thing. The other thing I noticed right away, though, picking this thing up, is it feels a lot like the old Shield, the regular slim 8-round gun.
Yeah, the one that's been around for like almost 15 years now?
Yeah. No, it's not. I think 2012 it came out. Yeah, it's like 10, 12 years. But it feels 90% the same. It's just a little fatter towards the bottom, just a little easier for me to get my hand on and, hang on to it.
Is it it tapers like into like a single feed column, right?
Yeah, it's essentially it's pretty much a double stack magazine. It's not as wide as a full M&P double stack. You know, I would call it like the old M&P had a little bit of width to it so they could get another couple of rounds in it maybe. It tapers as well.
Yep.
I used to call that stack and a half. This is more like a stack and a half.
Okay.
It's not a full double stack, but it tapers to the single feed at the top.
And how many does it hold?
13 with the large one that comes with it, and then the flush fit mag holds 10, I think.
Okay, so a little bit small or a little bit less than the P10, or not? Sorry, the P365. Sorry.
They smell another mag too. They sell a mag I think that holds 15.
Oh,
it's just a little bit longer, but it's the exact same footprint as the original Shield, except for the grip just being a little bit fatter in places. Otherwise, it's the same damn gun.
I might need to check that out.
It comes with night sights. Not that I care about that because I'm putting a dot on it. It is the optic ready version.
So you don't have the optic on it yet?
I did. No, the optic and plate arrive on Tuesday. So
nice.
I haven't.
I remember that was kind of the more important part of it.
Was the dot. Yeah. I want to shoot this with a dot on it. Now, the one thing, if I was buying this iron sight, I don't mind having sort of like the bright orange front sight. These do have, I don't know if they're tritium, but they do glow. I don't know if they're just like, the chargeable paint or if it's actually tritium or what it is. But the sights are pretty nice. It's got a pretty bright orange, circle around the front sight. I don't mind that so much as long as it's an iron sight gun. I don't know if that's going to annoy me with a dot on it.
Oh, yeah, they'll give you a double dot?
Well, it would it would be orange. I would have two objects out there,
Yeah.
And if it does bug me, then I'll just knock the front sight out. How dare you knock the front sight out of your dot gun?
What are you going to do when you have to shoot it one-handed
That'll
at
get
3.5
you killed
yards?
in the streets.
Everything gets you killed in the streets.
Yeah. If it bugs me, I'll knock it out. That's what I will do. If it doesn't bug me, then I'll just leave it because I'm lazy mostly.
Yeah.
But honestly, like the trigger is fantastic. I can't wait to actually shoot it. Just dry firing it. It's funny how I make the same marksmanship error as I do with my old Shield, and that is to basically put too much trigger or put too much finger on it, and then I'm trying to press the trigger like it's a full size gun, and you can't do that. Or not too much finger, like not enough finger in there. Like I'm reaching in like I would with a Glock 19 or something, just like going just to like the knuckle on my hand, and then I end up pushing it sideways and down a lot. And this is a shorter reach. You gotta reach in a little farther with that guy. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I like it very. Even the smooth parts have texture. You know, like the old M&Ps were so smooth and slippery.
Yeah, literally everything about them. Like you're like, who was the design team on this, and have they ever shot a gun outside of like an air conditioned range before?
And even then, they were slippery. But even the parts on this that are not heavily textured have texture. It's like 1,000 grit sandpaper, kind of.
Yep.
Really like it a lot. I can't wait to shoot it. But there's my new gun. Very excited about it. Fits all my holsters perfectly because literally from that tapered magazine up, like halfway through the trigger guard, through the grip, the gun's basically identical to the old Shield, to the regular sized one. So
yeah,
it's pretty. Oh, and reversible mag release for me as a lefty also.
Does it fit in your old holsters?
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
That's what I started to say because basically from the trigger guard up, it's the same gun as the old ones.
Nice.
So, and I just got a Tenacor holster for a Shield, knowing I was going to get the Plus, and it was made for the Plus, but it fit my old one just fine too.
Yep.
And that holster made the Shield much more comfortable for me to carry appendix.
Yeah.
Just because of my body type, the shape of my body, where I wear my belt, because the shorter guns are generally more uncomfortable for me to carry appendix, and by shorter I mean like slide barrel.
Yep.
Because they're digging into that pubic bone, you know, whatever it's not the coccyx or whatever, that's your tailbone, isn't it?
Yep. I forget. I mean, I just always call
the
it
bone above your wiener, whatever that is. A part of your hip bones.
Yes.
I don't know what it's called.
Right.
It would dig into that, and it got really uncomfortable really fast. More so than a longer pistol, a longer slided gun. Like my P07 or Glock 19 is more comfortable in that respect.
Yeah, because it will kind of like slide down your leg a little bit, and then like I have the wedge that they put on it that also kind of like pushes it back into you. So yeah, it remains fairly comfortable carrying a full size gun.
And the Tenacor has that's actually just molded into the holster itself. It's a big bubble instead of the padding or the wedge or whatever. It's just got this bubble molded into the plastic or Kydex or whatever. And yeah, I like it a lot. Can't wait to shoot it. Been dry firing it already, and it's a dandy. I like it. I like it a lot. So there you go. So I have a follow-up for you.
Yes.
How did the J-frame hurt you?
In so many ways.
Because a little backstory. I got a message on Instagram, my personal Instagram, about we don't have a show one anyway, so I guess it would have to be mine. A guy I know who's an instructor said, "Hey, I like your podcast. I'm enjoying it." And then he said, "I've got a J-frame revolver that he took out to the range. He's a law enforcement instructor, and he went out and sent me a couple targets that he shot with it, and it was at 15 yards, Jeff. You know, 9-inch circle at 15 yards, and all but one of them on each target was in that circle. Now, he probably missed the part about you having giant gorilla hands because you're 6'9", and a J-frame's not really Jeff-sized, as you said before.
Correct. It fits in the palm of my hand.
But you also said it hurt when you shot it, and like everything about it was terrible. Okay, can you re-explain to me why?
So, I'm going to be 100% honest. I've only shot it with like 2 ammos because revolvers have so many different types of bullets and ammos and loadings and all this stuff. Because I hate it so much, I didn't want to buy more ammo. But when I bought it from a buddy of mine, he gave me hollow points. Like they might be like Winchester.
Are they? Is it some snappy shit? I suppose.
Yeah. Well, it's the 38 steel case Wolf that is like the most unpleasant thing on the planet.
Okay.
Like, whereas they're like 9mm, kind of known for, and their 223s known for being loaded light. Apparently their 38 special is the opposite.
Like plus P plus or whatever.
Yeah, because like my buddy was like, I like thought I accidentally bought 357 Magnum when I shot it, and like went back to
Weird.
look. Yeah, he was like,
Well, maybe Wolf loaded it like it was a 357 and it was actually a 38.
right. I don't know, because all I know is it like hurts the web of my hand, and like it's like the Scandium frame, like it's still it's the lightest, smallest, dumbest one that they make, and so like I'll be honest, I've had a lot of people. Well, I've had probably 6 people shoot that gun, and I've never had someone go, "I like this gun." It's all, every single one of them, and like. One of my business partners, he's 5'4", 5'6", like 140 pounds, and he was like, I don't like this. This hurts. So like, maybe those of you who know how to shoot revolvers better than me can do them more comfortably. Props to you. I cannot. I find them miserable. I don't like them.
The one thing about revolvers is I'm not an expert in revolver technique either. They're a little easier to shoot if you don't get super high on the grip. You know,
right? And I might be making that mistake of basically getting a beaver tail style grip on.
Right, because they're not made to get quite as high on, so that can maybe it's hitting you harder there because of that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. Anyway, also, this is something Jeff was telling me about before the show. How did the truck gun hurt you, Jeff?
And in my defense, it didn't hurt me at all but I got in trouble.
Point on the doll where the truck gun touched you.
When the bad guy take it from car and then go do bad things with it. So basically, there was a thread on a subreddit about someone wanting to build a cheap AR as a truck gun, with the assumption that they wanted it cheap, so if it was stolen, it wasn't that big of a hit. And I'm like, that's the worst logic ever. Like, don't keep guns in your car. Like, how? Like, there is one time that you should leave a gun in your car. It's when you didn't plan to go to the bar or didn't plan to go to somewhere where carrying a gun feels inappropriate. And so you just have to put it in your car. Like, I understand. We've all been in that situation where someone calls you up, you're carrying, and you're like, hey, come to the bar. And you're like, well, shit. And so, but like, other than that, don't leave a gun, like, don't leave a high point in your car. Don't leave a J-frame in your car. And then, why do you need a rifle in your car unless I'm going to put this caveat, you're in the boony sticks area where you might maybe need one. My dad's lived there for 6 years or 5 years now, has never needed a rifle ever. And so I don't completely understand, but like I'll give you a pass there. But people who keep rifles in their cars,
a farmer, rancher, the coyotes messing with their livestock, a rifle, like my grandpa used to run around with a Ruger Mini 14 in his truck. You know, that was for coyotes getting close to pigs and sheep and stuff, and
that definitely makes sense.
Yeah,
but like no one could quite get an answer out of this dude in this thread. But like, because they're like, why do you want to keep this rifle in your car? And like, I feel like he thinks he's going to be John Wick or something, and there's going to be a shooting, and he's going to run to his car, grab his rifle, and then run back in. And then he's assuming that the nice police officers are not going to smoke him in the face the second they roll up and see man with rifle at shooting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think truck guns are dumb. I think keeping a rifle in your car is dumb. I believe so.
Well, and we talked about it on a previous episode. Like the concept is fun because it's cool. You know, like the backpack gun where I can fold it up. It's got a folding stock on it. It's got a, you know, or a folding wrist brace, whatever. And then I have my little shorty barrel on there. Like, yeah, that's kind of cool. Am I going to permanently store one like that in a vehicle? No, I would never permanently store a firearm in a vehicle. Now, to go along with what you were saying about there's a time and a place for leaving it in there, and something that's happened to me before is going into places that don't allow them by law, where I'm committing the crime by walking in the door. So, like, when I was traveling with my family to the Black Hills, if you go to Mount Rushmore, you cannot bring a firearm beyond the parking ramp.
Yep.
So I have a little safe that is that I have a steel cable through, the little push button deet, 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 deet thing,
Yep.
and I run that through the child seat anchor. And sure, someone could still steal it, but it's not easy. So
Right.
that's the time where I will mostly end up leaving one in the vehicle. I don't store them there intentionally overnight. That's a dumb idea. Really, really, really dumb idea. I had a guy in a class one time though who was just like, "Well, I put it in the safety lock, cock, whatever, safe in the trunk of my car. It's fine." I'm like, okay, you realize if somebody knows that that's there and they bring a cutting torch with, they're gonna have that thing open in no time.
Right. And the more time you give them, the more like your car is the most likely place to be broken into.
Yeah.
And locks are not I'm keeping everybody out. Locks are I'm giving you time to restrict access.
Yeah.
And so like if I know nothing, I'm not mechanically inclined. I'm kind of an idiot when it comes to tools. If you put my dumbass with like a set of Harbor Freight tools, I can probably get through a majority of safes inside of like an hour. Like if given free reign.
Yeah.
I don't know anything.
I'm B class when it comes to tools and being mechanically inclined. So yeah, I know how to run a cutting torch. It wouldn't take long to get in there. If I end up torching some ammo off in there, that's just the cost of doing business, I suppose, for a thief. But no, it's just generally a terrible idea. We kind of already alluded to it though, talking about this. I was saving it for later, but actually, no, it was actually next on the rundown. You mentioned off the air, you started talking about it, and then it turned into a good conversation. I'm like, we need to shut up and just save it for the recording.
Yep.
Okay. You mentioned something about going into a bar with your carry gun.
Sometimes
That's not legal in Nebraska, right?
correct. In the state of Nebraska, I believe it's like just if you enter a facility that serves over 51% or makes over 51% of its revenue from alcohol, it's a misdemeanor, felony. It's something. Sorry, I don't know.
Probably a
the gun laws very
misdemeanor.
well. Yeah, and so, but there's no sign that says who makes more than 51%. So you just have to kind of like guess. And so sometimes you're in an establishment and you're like, oh, okay. Well, and then like in the state of Nebraska, you cannot consume any alcohol while carrying, but in like Iowa, you can, as long as you're below the legal limit, you're good. And all of this is based off of like, I don't know if they've changed the laws because now they're constitutional carry and things changed, whatever. But like, this was my understanding when I took my class several years ago. So yeah, it creates a kind of a weird conundrum for.
Well, I can say this: in South Dakota, carrying in a bar is totally legal as long as you don't conceal it. So,
which that just seems so like contradictory. Like, can you drink while you? As long as you're open carrying.
So, well, it doesn't say any, like that part of the law. It's only it's a class 1 misdemeanor if you carry concealed in a bar.
Okay.
So if you're open carrying, well, then it's not illegal. You're not committing that misdemeanor. Now, there's other crimes like intoxicated while in possession of a loaded firearm is a thing you can be charged with. But if the firearm's not loaded, then you can't be charged with that either. Now, the bar can tell you, get it, get out.
As they should.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like no gun signs don't have force of law in South Dakota. They do in Nebraska, but not here. So like odds are the bar's going to tell you to leave, and then you're only guilty of trespassing if you don't leave.
Right.
As far as the carrying concealed, okay, as long as I'm in a restaurant, which is the same as Nebraska, over half of the income is made off of food, not alcohol.
Right.
As long as I don't have a round in the chamber, I'm perfectly legal to be intoxicated in possession of a firearm because they changed the definition of loaded 2 years ago to a loaded firearm is any firearm with a round in the chamber, including any chamber in the cylinder of a revolver. So all I have to do is take the one out of the pipe, top off my mag with it, put the mag back in, put it back in my holster, and I'm totally legal in South Dakota.
So as long as you're Israeli carrying, you're good.
Yep.
Interesting.
Now, prior to that law change, all I had to do was put the magazine in my pocket and not in the gun. So it wasn't a huge change when they changed that law, but at least I don't have to like put the mag in the gun to load it. I can just.
Hey, it would be the one time that the USPSA unloaded starts would make sense.
Yeah. I mean, but that's not the law here anymore. So, and a lot of states are kind of are more like the old way. Minnesota is the same, I know, just because that's another neighboring state to us. But yeah, Nebraska is kind of kooky. That's the weird one. Basically, if I'm going to a match in Nebraska somewhere and I get pulled over, I can pretty much count on getting bent over the hood of a patrol car and getting frisked and searched and whatnot. And it's, again, you have to notify on contact with law enforcement, stuff like that. And South Dakota, you do not. However, I don't want to surprise them either. But I'm not a big fan of like automatically notifying law enforcement. How could you say that? You're law-abiding gun. Okay, here's why I'm not automatically going to do that. Is I don't know what kind of day the cop that pulled me over is having. I don't know what call he just came from. I don't know the guy. Maybe the guy isn't even actually like he passed the psychological evaluation or whatever. But maybe he's not quite the right kind of guy who should be a police officer. Unless he asks me, I'm not going to volunteer that unless he asks me to get out of the car. And in South Dakota, they can have you come sit in their patrol car while they go about the stop.
That's all. It's
I know
national law.
Well, it comes from South Dakota State Supreme Court decision but
if a cop asks you to get out of the car, you must get out of the car.
No, but like also sit in their car, like in the front seat, like there was I read the case because I'm a dork, but I don't know about the rest of the country. I study up on South Dakota. But anyway, if they don't ask me, if they don't ask me and they don't ask me to get out of the car, I ain't gonna tell them.
I learned to phrase it because if you'd never want to be like, hey officer, I have a gun, or like
right. No, I'm not gonna do that either.
I'm armed.
Right. I'm not gonna do that either.
Right. No, the like one time I got pulled over, I was like, according to the class I took, I'm supposed to tell you that I have a thing on me, and he goes, yeah, I get it, whatever, just don't touch it. And I was like, okay, cool, we're good.
And that's what a highway patrolman that I'm friends with, or a highway patrolman, told me. That's pretty much how he handled it. If I never asked you to get out of the car, he didn't even really care if he didn't ask you to get out of the car. But if he did ask him to get out, he didn't want to get surprised with it because obviously that's scary for them, and I totally understand and get it. But I'm not going to volunteer it because of Philando Castile, right?
Yeah,
got shot by the cop when he just said, "I got my permit," and he reaches for a permit and he gets shot. And he should have probably left his hands on the wheel and not gotten quite so jumpy. But like that dude was like wound up tighter than a $2 watch. Like that was a really sketchy thing. He was found not guilty, but he got fired. So kind of tells you everything you need to know there. Anyway, so yeah, you can do all kinds of fun stuff in South Dakota. You can also have I mentioned the booby trap law in South Dakota?
Oh no, well
you can have booby traps in South Dakota. I want to read the exact law so I don't get it wrong. But you can indeed have a weapon activated by a trip device in South Dakota.
So what I'm hearing is that you need a Claymore Roomba called a Boomba.
This is a thing. Let me find it here. Here it is. Okay. So it is a Class 1 misdemeanor for any person who sets a device designed to activate a weapon upon being tripped or approached, and they leave it unmarked or unattended by a competent person. Which means if they leave it marked, like, warning, tripwire shotgun ahead, proceed at your own risk, well, you've done all you need to do. So
interesting. Because, I know that I watched an old show on the guy who left a shotgun tied to a tripwire and then killed a guy and then found guilty of murder but he also, I don't think, had a sign that said tripwire on the other side.
This is just South Dakota. I'm just reading you South Dakota Codified Law 22-14-7, subsection 2. That's all I'm saying. This is in the same law that spells out reckless discharge of a firearm or reckless shooting of a bow and arrow or possession of loaded firearm while intoxicated.
Oh, okay.
Like it's all within the same. It's all within the same law. But I would love to know the history of that law. Like what does that go back to? It has to be something very, very old, like cattle rustling or I don't know what. But
yeah,
a weapon that upon being tripped or approached, and they leave it unmarked or unattended by a competent person. I love my state so much. Okay. You sent me that thing earlier this week. I'm glad you added that to the rundown here.
Yes. Cops and their open guns.
Yes, cops and open guns. Please proceed, sir.
Yes. So my favorite thing about cops is their constant ability to shit on competition shooting and then steal literally everything we do and call it tactical.
Except the skill part.
Except the skill part.
Now we're not talking about all cops.
I know
not all cops. I know cops who can shoot. There's a cop in your town that's quite good. There's a cop up here who's also quite good. But
yes.
Most of them aren't that good.
Yes, and so I, as we are one to do, I sit on the 2011 forum just to gawk at all of the dumb pistols that people buy. And
why are they dumb? Why do you call them dumb? I know why I think they're dumb, but why do you think they're dumb?
Marginal return
on investment, yes, exactly. Yeah, like $3,000 for a gun that is like 10% better to shoot.
Right, and then they'll argue, should I get my Atlas? Should I upgrade to an Infinity? And it's like you're paying $3,000 for like a 1% difference, and you are not even like a shooter. Like you are just someone. It's a safe queen. Anyways, so there was a thread of cops basically trying to decide if they wanted a Staccato XC, that is the single port. Basically, in USPSA, it would fall under open, but they all hate that it's in open.
Because it has a compensated barrel. It's an iron sight gun otherwise, though, right?
It is optics ready.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But it's slide mounted. So it's not frame mounted like a traditional open gun. And so there was a number of police officers talking about carrying a $4,800 open gun as their like duty carry, and how like their SWAT teams are switching to like multiple like groups of people are switching to these essentially open guns, which A, stay in your lane, and B, why? Like
and they were my favorite part when you sent me this thread was how they had to modify them to make them more reliable and so that the trigger wasn't too light.
Yes, because the department policy. Yeah, because department policy requires it to be like a 4 or 4.5
pound trigger, something like that.
Right, and so they had to make them worse.
Yeah,
and there was people talking about should I run the 7-pound spring or the 9-pound spring? Well, I shot 1,000 rounds and it's still reliable, and you're like, that doesn't mean anything.
No.
But for many officers, that could be the entire life firing of ammunition that they will do in their career. So like I get it. But again, I had to make the joke. Police officers, you could buy a brand new polymer frame, whatever, a brand new optic, 2,000 rounds of 9mm, and hire any A-class or above USPSA shooter to train you.
Thank you, Jeff.
For half the price of this $4,800 pistol.
And I'm a lot cheaper than the Grandmasters. I'll just say that. So, no, I totally agree. Now, a little bit of devil's advocate. Okay, is there anything inherently wrong with those guns?
No, not that I'm aware of. I had a bad experience with an open gun. I find them to be very finicky. But again, most officers will go their entire career never having to shoot someone. So.
Right. So I mean, I think staccatos are cool. I probably won't buy one unless I am suddenly like more well off money wise than I currently am, because I can buy 2.5 Glock 34s for the cost of one of those.
Yeah.
And for one of the bottom of the line guns. So
right, not to mention the $100 magazines and
right. That was the weirdest thing I saw at Shields today. They had a bunch of Atlas magazines.
That is weird.
on the shelf. Of course, they're all in stock. Could I find a Shield Plus magazine on the shelf? No, none. They had none of those. But they had a bunch of $110 Atlas magazines for whatever. The the choice of gun, like, I get it if you like a certain gun and it's just what you like. I like dumb guns, like we talked about last week. Owen from your town sent me a meme shitting all over M1As and M14s, and how the FAL is superior. And okay, like, I understand the objective parts of that. I still like it better, and I don't care.
Right.
I'm not taking that to work with me as a police officer. You know, I don't know if anybody's got M14s as a DMR rifle in their squad car, but I'm going to go with probably not. And that wouldn't be my first choice if I was a cop, you know?
Yeah. And it just becomes, again, this like people chasing the next greatest gadget rather than the skill set, because for these cops, I'm sure shooting an open gun probably makes them feel like they're 10, 20, 30% better. But like if they had the skill set, like if they had like our level of skill, they would get like a 2% or 5% increase. And
now
for $4,500, it's just not worth it.
Before we started the show, it might have even been on one of our test run episodes. You had a phrase for, like, we're a competition practical shooting elitist a-hole or something like that.
Yes.
What was how did you word that?
Oh, we have
like
expert
snobby
bias. We have an expert bias, and so we look down upon everyone who is not an expert.
Well, yeah, okay. It was funnier than that though, and it was sort of like completely. It was more self-deprecating than expert bias. It was something like we're
shooting elitists.
We're shooting elitist snobs or something like that. And while I agree with that, and like we have a match at my club every year called Cops and Robbers. It's a 3-gun match that is designed it's run by a guy who is a cop at my club who used to be a very, very, very good 3-gun shooter. He doesn't shoot a whole lot anymore, but he still runs this match, and it's designed for cops to get out and do some practical shooting, and just get exposed to something other than a lot of the static stuff that they do in training, and do some moving around and shooting. And I have seen cops show up they'll intentionally. It bugs me that like civilians are not allowed to shoot the cop division even if they have the gear for it.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
A lot of the cops will shoot the robber division with their staccato, and they're still missing the target low and left. So
because they think they can buy skill.
Well, they want to shoot their fun staccato gun that they can't carry or shoot at work, you know. And
they can't shoot it.
And but at the same time, though, like when it comes to like the actual gun itself, I want the one I know is going to go off the most reliably. That's why the guns I carry are the 3 guns I carry regularly are a CZP-07, a Glock 19, and a Smith & Wesson M&P Shield. And now it's a Shield Plus. But I still have the old one because Shields was going to fuck me on the trade-in. But sorry, I clickety-clacked in my magazine there.
Oh, no.
But yeah, I mean, we're a little snobby about it, but it's because we're snobby about it. I don't know. I mean, it sounds like we're being dicks, but like
we are experts looking at peasants.
I've also seen cops who shoot like they hit everything they're aiming at, like they don't miss, like they're
very
dead
slowly
on nuts, but it's very slow, very, very slow, and that's sort of the difference. And then as soon as they speed up, then they turn into, you know, they're pulling the trigger like they're having a seizure, and then it's all over the place. To put it in context for anyone who's never trained with a cop before, like I trained with one of our local cops, and one of his drills he wanted to do was basically took a quarter and put a Sharpie circle around it, and like that was we had to get every shot in that at like 5 yards or 7 yards, which okay, that's challenging or whatever. But then like when we do any like running gun stuff, he was like or like double the time that I was. Mm-hmm. And it was like, okay, like if I'm bullseye shooting, cool, we're not that far apart. But when we're trying to do a task at high speed,
I'm drastically better than you. Which do you think is more like a shooting that you're going to be in that might happen
Right.
in 6 seconds?
How often are you going to have to hit a target the size of a quarter?
Right. It's
Almost never. That's one thing though. Like when it comes to rifle shooting, like most of my rifle shooting is geared around hunting, and then I do also some practical rifle shooting. I do an AR class that's it's basically a entry level carbine class for folks, and but when I'm shooting a bolt gun, I read I can't remember, the Long Range Shooting Handbook. Ryan Kleckner wrote it. There was something he wrote in there about it's just got to be good enough. You know, it doesn't. You don't have to hit a dime at 500 yards. You have to hit whatever you have to hit at that distance. So that's all you need. And that's how I look at pistol shooting for the most part. Like how
USPSA is very good about that.
And the sport is definitely geared. That's why it's called practical shooting. It's like, what would I have to hit in a hurry if I had to hit it? If this was real life.
Right, like every shooting ever that's ever been posted or has a video about, I don't usually watch them go bang, okay, bang, yep, that one's good, bang. Normally it's, oh crap, let me pull that trigger until threat is gone.
A lot of times though, even in those the police shooting videos, not all of them, but a lot of them, it's still a very measured pace. It'll be sort of like, and they got to be more accountable. They've got background considerations to worry about that we don't when we're at a range, or anybody has to worry about. They got to account for every round, and I don't say that to be like fuddish. I'm saying if you're actually shooting at a bad guy, you really needed to hit him and not someone else or something else.
Yeah,
and so that pace, I understand. Like there's a video on Police Post the other day where a guy like surrounded by cops all of a sudden pulls out a gun. A couple of the cops got hit, and the one guy, like, he's still moving, and it's like bang, bang, bang. Dude's 5 feet away.
Yeah.
And I was just sort of, that was the thing I took away from that video, was just how long it was. But like, I don't know if he was still is he still moving? Yeah, oh yeah, he's still trying to shoot me. Yeah. Like, I don't know if that's what it was, or was that just his like shooting pace he was trained to? I couldn't speak to that. That was just a thing I noticed, was it just seemed, considering what was going on, it was a little slower than I thought it should have been. That's all.
And he also hit 3 bystanders.
Oh, he did. Oh. Okay.
Or whoever, because I think multiple cops actually shot, but 3
the
people
guy
in
that
that
got
bar
the
were
guy
shot.
the guy that got hit. I don't know if we're talking about the same video, but
yeah,
anyway.
it's the guy at a bar, and he's surrounded by like 7 or 8 cops, and then they decide to have a quick draw competition in the middle of the street, and
yeah,
it's the same one. I read an article that 2 people had basically scrapes, and then one was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. The
bystander, you mean?
Yeah, the bystander. The original shooter, he took, to quote John Correa, he took the asphalt temperature challenge.
That is a funny phrase. I like that one. Okay.
Right.
So Todd wrote some rules.
Yes.
We're talking about Todd Weitzel. He's the match director for the Cornhusker Classic, which is a hit factor match this year in protest to USPSA. It had been a level 2 USPSA match, which requires submission of the stages for National Range Officer Institute approval, which isn't an actual institute. It's just the rules people at USPSA. It's not an actual institute. And it requires sending them more money, and now it's a level 1, or it's not a level. It's not a USPSA match at all, so they don't have to do any of that bullshit.
Yep.
And the rules they're using are not USPSA. They are some modified PCSL rules.
Yes.
And Todd sent me a copy of them last week while he was still kind of working on them. And I didn't look through the general rules as much as the division rules. There's lots of interesting stuff in both. And just to help me save time, I asked him, so what were the big changes in the general rules? The safety language was strengthened from the original PCSL. He didn't specify. Power factors added, so if you're shooting major or minor, or the fact that major or minor can be a thing at all, because it's not in PCSL. All the multi-gun stuff is removed. It allows for PCSL, USPSA, or IPSC targets. It allows the This was one thing I did like. The requirement to stay inside the fault lines is an option if it's put into the written stage brief.
Yes.
I like that a lot because I hate having to put up extra walls just so I can keep people from running around the outside. Round the outside, round the outside. Now you can just say, can't do it. Must stay in the fault lines. If you exit, you must re-enter at the same place that you exited.
Yep. So it's right in line with the IPSC rule. Me and Todd had long conversations about, like, we would go to matches and we'd be like, this stage would be better if we couldn't run around this wall because it invalidates all of the walls they put up over there. There was several stages from Area 3 that were basically would have, if you had to stay in the fault lines, would completely change how you shot them. Yeah,
100%. The other thing he had mentioned to me, you talked with him more than I did about it. So, calibration of steel, popper calibration, which is best solved in USPSA by just using all mini poppers and have hingeless ones, and they're great. They suck to pick up, but they always fall down when you hit them.
Yep.
The way he worded it is there's two ways it's handled if you shoot a popper and it does not fall. If there's a full diameter hit in the calibration zone of the steel target, the shooter will be offered a reshoot. If there is a partial hit in the calibration zone or the hit was outside the calibration zone, the target will be scored as a miss.
Right.
The problem with that is, how do we determine the full diameter hit? And because it's painted steel that makes a much bigger displacement of paint than the diameter of the bullet.
You can normally see the bullet size, but
you have to be able to define it if it's a rule.
Yeah, I know. This gets very much into the range lawyer type stuff.
No, not range lawyer stuff. I mean, you have to be able to define it.
Most of the time I can see where the bullet struck. I could see us having to make little, like, cardboard, like, circles that we put up to the thing, and as long as there's no gray on the outside of that it's a full diameter,
but it would have to be bigger than the diameter of the bullet. Like, even if it's 9mm, that would have to be like 3/4 of an inch wide.
No, I'm talking about like putting it over the entire calibration zone.
Oh, to delineate that. Yeah, I gotcha.
But like, yeah, basically it's like if it's on the edge, there will be a question, and we'll have to figure that out. There's another one of the range rules is that any questionable things is for the range master to decide at that match. So like,
I don't like that. I don't like that. Like, I would prefer it if, like, the calibration zone part I like. If there's evidence of a bullet hit in the calibration zone of the steel target, reshoot.
Yeah, I get it. I do.
If it's outside, miss. Because it's just too hard to define a full diameter hit. I don't know.
Then he just removes those two words, and then bam, it's fine.
Yeah. No, he may
have updated it.
I was going back and I sound a little snottier about that now than I actually was when I was emailing Todd about it. I was just like, one suggestion I had was something about the how much paint is displaced. Like, if you can measure, let's just say a 1/2 inch for 9mm or 3/4 of an inch, if it removes that much paint from the target, it's a dumb way of defining it. I admitted it.
I was about to say, because then it would be about the power factor and the paint type and the distance and the temperature.
Yeah, because steel target paint comes off differently than Krylon does.
Right, and if it's cold as shit, it might come off differently than if it's hot as fuck.
Yep.
So yes, it's going to continue to be an issue of some sort, but we're trying. And that's another thing about this rule set is that it is a work in progress, because you have to remember that, like, when me and Andy took the class, the USPSA rule book was like 48 pages, and now it's like 77. So it's like things are constantly added, because no one expected that someone would be like, oh, the wall is also the base, so I'm just going to stand on the bases on the other side of the wall. And like that's a thing. And you're like, God damn it. Like, Can we not? So
I know what you mean, but like as someone who played ball sports too, I was a rules nerd. I understood the rules, and if there are not rules, then all we have is chaos. So it's a sport. There's winners and losers. There has to be rules. And if there's a thing about calibration of steel, if falling steel must be calibrated in some way, shape, or form, which I don't think it actually needs to be. Another option is to just say if there's a hit in the calibration zone, it's a hit. Period.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, that just becomes what again making the cardboard circle you put over the calibration zone, and to just determine that it's a fully inside
In
that,
or out, yeah. It will require a popper overlay sort of thing.
right.
But so there's that. Was there anything else of note in the general rules?
Not that I can think.
The K zone is the same as 2 alpha.
But he also stipulates that USPSA and IPSC targets are valid targets for the
Yeah, so
the sport.
if you use USPSA targets for a stage, then you can do your 3 per paper for a
Right,
15
or-
point.
Yeah, because the PCSL targets, they just don't have the economy of scale, so they're like $1.50, whereas IPSC targets and USPSA targets are like
Especially
65
IPSC,
cents.
you can get a lot cheaper just because they're smaller and lighter and less shipping cost.
Right. So it's like at the end of the day, my club is not buying any PCSL K zone targets.
We bought a couple boxes for 2 and 3 gun matches to give a whirl.
Yeah, again, I never liked the K zone, but I get that it's part of the sport. I was never a fan of it.
Tanfo Timmy posted those rules, and I saw some absolutely hilarious comments that were just. And when I say hilarious, I mean they were stupid. There were some really stupid comments like, "How come I can't shoot my 45 with 170 millimeter mags?" Because that's not what the rules say. Sorry, it's practical. Because who's carrying
a boomerang?
who's carrying a boomerang of a 1911 round? No one. Just get over it. You don't need 170 millimeter magazines. Just get over it. Somebody was also this unofficial PCSL variation needs to clearly note that it isn't a PCS League official. Well, PCS League official is not really official. It's just whatever the hell Max decides. I mean, it's not. People keep talking about it like it's an organization. It's not. It's Max Leograndis. That's it. It's a guy who's selling targets.
Yeah, and he has even, according to Todd, he has even said that he very much likes this one gun because he was making a 2-gun sport.
Right, that was his focus, was a practical 2-gun.
Right. Then I think he added a 3-gun element to it, and then he also was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, here's
a 1-gun.
Here's a 1-gun but like it was always based off of the 2-gun. So it's supposed to be like, oh, I'm just shooting the rifle, or oh, I'm just shooting the pistol that I was already shooting in the PCSL 2-gun. Like this is its own like practical pistol shooting sport, essentially, that's called PCSL but is not associated with the PCSL because rules are fake and it's all about who's enforcing them.
Yeah, and unless there's accountability in rules, then it doesn't really matter. Okay, division rules. This is the hotness, the sexiness. This is, the hot talk here is going to be the division rules. Okay, open division for Todd's PCSL Hit Factor 1-gun divisions. It's mostly normal. Minimum caliber 9mm, 45 max caliber. Major minor must be declared. 171 millimeter mags. DASA guns have manual safety or hammer down. SAO guns, blah blah blah. No other restrictions. Like literally no other restrictions.
There's actually one restriction that got added because of all of the rule Nazis.
Oh, what?
Because of I'm going to skip ahead slightly. The PCC says no pistol braces, so someone's like, well, I'll just shoot my pistol brace thing in open, and so he had to put it in no pistol braces allowed.
Like it was going to be a rifle pistol?
Well, yeah, they were going to declare their PCC a open gun. Because he doesn't actually make any like must start from holster, must
Oh, sure.
So yeah, there's
It
this
must
is
start
where
from
the
home.
rule Nazi bullshit comes in.
I know.
I hate all of
it's
you.
annoying, but yeah. I mean, the division rules were very short for open, which, that's the thing when you're writing rules, though, is you have to think of how could this be misapplied.
Yes, I'm learning
And-
that.
Okay. Enhanced optics is essentially the limited optics of this division. 141.25 millimeter mags. Dot required. It must be slide mounted. 9 to 45 caliber. Minor scoring only. No comps reporting. Thumb rests are allowed. Flashlights. Magwells allowed. DASA guns with a manual safety. May start with safety applied or in the hammer down position. Anything else missing from that? There's not really anything controversial on that one, was there?
Well, he probably had to put in there somewhere that SA guns start with the safety on, just because you have to write it.
Yeah.
And so it's technically not in there yet, but yes, number 11 is probably all guns must start with manual safety applied before holstering.
And I like that was something talking about the because there were no, that was something I had mentioned to him too. It was about because like some striker fired guns have safeties. If somebody shows up with an M17 or an M&P that's got a safety, it didn't say a starting condition for the striker fired guns.
Yeah.
Like a Glock doesn't have a safety, so there's no safety to activate, but some do. So, just the thing about, hey, if there's a safety on it, you got to activate it.
Right.
The practical optics. So this is sort of the carry optics. This is my favorite division. Thank you. God bless you, Todd, for writing it this way. Okay, 9 to 45 caliber allowed. Minor scoring only. Optical sight required. Mounted to the slide between ejection port and rear of the slide. Max magazine load to capacity 15 plus 1, meaning 16 rounds in the gun at any one time. Maximum magazine length 141 millimeter. So you can still use your CO mags, but you just can't load them past 15.
Right.
Which was actually something I was going to suggest, and then I read the rules. I'm like, oh, he already thought of it. Never mind. Cool. No comps reporting. Thumb rest not allowed. I did write him something about that. Are these stupid ass slide stops a thumb rest or not?
I mean, I'm going to lobby that they are not, or that they
are
are thumb
a thumb
rested,
rest.
that it should not be allowed.
Right,
Because fuck
I agree.
all of you, Christian Seiler, and all you other fuckwits that have these giant fucking plates off the side of your Shadow 2s because the 3.5 pound gun is just too hard to control.
I can't control it. It's so out of control with my 126 power fracture ammo. Flashlights allowed. And then the DASA guns, hammer down position. SAO guns specifically not allowed. Now, in the practical irons division, did we mention enhanced irons?
No, I thought you were just going optics.
We
to
don't really
iron.
need to because it's just basically old limited, pretty much.
Well, no.
What's
No,
different?
no.
Okay, then what am I missing?
So enhanced irons, it is limited, but it does not need to be 40 caliber to make major power factor.
Oh, that is the big thing. Sorry, I forgot about that. My bad.
Yep. So
You don't. It can be 9 major. You can blow your gun up
yes.
and shoot that division. So
Yes, all of you Glockenspiel boys that want
Yeah.
to test if plus P plus runs in a 34.
oh,
go right ahead
it'll run.
for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I would run it out of my 35 with the 9mm barrel. Then I've essentially got a bull barrel, so just a little beefier.
Yeah.
I don't know if the chamber's any better or not.
Hey, maybe someone will try it with a P320.
He should add to the rules. P320s may not shoot major 9mm ammo.
Must shoot some minor.
Yeah, must shoot subminor ammo. Practical irons. Okay, this is basically for all the other iron sight guns. Minimum caliber is 9mm up to 45. Minor scoring only. Iron sights only. Max mag capacity is 15 rounds. Max mag length 141 millimeter, so you still get to use longer mags.
Yep.
Thumb rests are not allowed. Magwells are not allowed. Flashlights and lasers are allowed. But the thing that was the most interesting was that single action only guns are allowed.
Yep.
So a 1911 would be allowed.
A 1911 would be allowed, but they're going to bitch and moan because they can't have their
Magwell.
magwells that they are allowed in USPSA. But they were always going to bitch. But yes, your single action whatever gun with iron sights can be shot. Any gun with iron sights can be shot in this division at 15+1. Whether it's suboptimal for that or not, that is your choice.
Yep.
But everything is allowed in this division.
A 9mm 1911 though, with a 141 millimeter magazine, how many bullets does that fit? Do you know?
I don't actually know. I can.
And I don't, because like I don't know if did anybody. I know like in if you shoot a 1911 in limited, if it's a single stack, then they could use 171 millimeter mags.
I feel like we're trying to accommodate like 4 people on this planet.
I know,
and
but still, I like that it's throwing in the single action iron sight guns. Whatever they are, you know. I mean, hell, I could shoot my Tac Sport Orange in this division if I took the magwell off.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like I believe that 40 caliber has held back limited division for a while now, and that.
Do you think if everything was minor, that limited would have more of a resurgence?
No, not anymore. I would say that that ship has sailed just because dots are easier.
Right. Okay.
But I think it would have died slower. And I think that if it's going to survive at all, it needs to maybe it needs to switch to this 9 major as like maybe change major equals to, so it's maybe 155 power factor or something, but like
Yeah.
I have it 9 major. Like we have open guns that do it, so and I know it's dumb, but like so is
40 caliber. It's funny to me that there's a caliber of gun that is smaller than another caliber, and I'm talking about 10 millimeter, and it's actually snappier than the larger caliber. It's so weird. And I am talking about I've never shot a 10 millimeter with, you know, with like defensive rounds in it, some actually stanky, you know, gold dots or something like that.
Right.
But I've shot 40 with that, and like, yeah, it's snappy as hell. But I've shot, you know, whatever Federal American Eagle out of a 10 millimeter, and to me it doesn't feel as snappy as a 40. It just doesn't.
And it just goes back to all the they somehow took a cartridge, made it worse, and were like, everyone adopt this, and everyone was like, this is fine,
and they did
en masse.
That was the craziest part.
Or they decided to pick just like 357 SIG or just random dumb calibers when the entire rest of the world went, we use 9 millimeter. We've always used 9 millimeter. We're going to continue to use 9 millimeter.
Yeah.
You Americans are dumb.
Yeah. Okay. PCC is basically pistol brace carbines not allowed. Coupled magazines are prohibited side by side. If they're coupled vertically, where they get really unreliable and they look really long and stupid, those are still allowed. Bipods and bags not allowed. No other restrictions.
Yeah.
So, whatever. It's still like open 9mm rifle. That division, I think it would be fun if there was major in that.
Yeah, but like, I guess there's a part of me that goes, why? Just because
shooting a Thompson would be awesome. That's why.
Well, if we're following the rules as they're laid out, then there's really no reason that.
You still can
use a Thompson.
You still can.
You still can. And B, if it's 9 major, it makes major power factor. Then like everyone's just going to continue to shoot their AR 9 millimeters.
Yeah.
And I mean they're already almost like 170 power factor or whatever, just shooting
That's
factory
true.
9mm.
Yeah.
So it'd have to be what, like 230 power factor.
But like the thing is though, the power factor is not exactly a scientific measurement, of energy. It's just sort of a very simple calculation for a sport. It isn't terribly practical. If you're not familiar, power factor is just figured by velocity times bullet weight divided by 1,000. And so if you're shooting a 125 grain bullet at 1,000 feet per second, then the power factor of that is 125. When it's shot out of a rifle, it's in the barrel longer, it's under pressure longer, it's going to go faster pretty much in every single case. So it is sort of silly because they're all going to be coming up a lot hotter for the most part, if they're going to still run. That's the thing that was funny about a lot of PCCs, like, oh, I'm shooting my 125 power factor ammo, and the gun does not cycle because it does not create enough energy to cycle the bolt.
If you want to see a bunch of people like ruin their ability to complete a task, watch PCC Division, because these motherfuckers will spend like $3,000 building a rifle when they could have just bought a JP.
Yeah,
and then they'll fiddle fuck with their ammo and their springs and their mags and yada 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 yada. And it'll just malfunction constantly. And I'm like, okay, take the base, like the Glockenspiel 33 round mags are fine. Like, put it in gun, rack it, cover it in oil, blah blah blah. Like, it's fine. But they like you said, they need that rifle to shoot super light because they think that's what makes Max Leogrand is such a good PCC shooter. Or
no, it's because he's good.
Right, it's because he practices in bump fire. Or is he the one that bump fires? There's someone who bumps their splits, and
oh really?
They're just so good at it that you don't even realize it, and they just bump it and get like 0.09 splits.
Jeez, that's wild. What's the fastest you've ever split a pistol? And what was that pistol? Because that matters.
Oh, it's definitely gonna be one of my Shadow 2s, and I want to say it's like an 11. Because we were just screwing around one time, and I'm pretty sure I got an 11.
I shot a 12 with my Tac Sport Orange once, and I shot a 13 with my 34.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's impressive.
Like once. And I was trying to. It wasn't like I was just practicing and did it. Like, I was like trying to split it as fast as I could just to see how to do that. And it had to be, I could not do it the lowest, and that was with my Gen 5. The Gen 5 reset with that Apex connector I have in it is really nice and short. It's nice. The Gen 4, I could not, even has the same connector, and it's just something different about the Gen 4 to Gen 5 trigger bars. Just something about it, it just doesn't reset as quick, and I could not get the Gen 4. I think the fastest I got that was 14 or 15. Actually, no, I don't think it was even that fast. I think it was 15 or 16 with the Gen 4. The Gen 3, though, I got down to what did I say, a 12 or a 13? I think it was a 13.
13 is what
it
you
was
said.
A 13, yeah. But it doesn't help you. Like a friend of mine who I won't name drop, I won't say his name and embarrass him, Bert. He was asking me, is it really worth it to split fast? And I'm like, no, it's not.
Nope.
Well, why not? Like, it's so fast. I'm like, okay, how many shots are on a stage? Like, let's say it's 32 round field course,
Yep.
and it's all paper. Okay, that means you're going to fire 32 rounds. That means you have 16 between shot splits.
Yep.
If you shoot them all in .20, it's going to be this time. If you shoot them all in .10, you're eliminating 1/10 of a second on 16 shots.
So it's like a second and a half.
And that's if
maybe.
that's if you cut a whole 1/10 of a second off the split, which is not possible.
Right. Again, like we're
I'm just trying to make the math easy. Okay.
Yeah. And
if
so people,
if you got it down to a 15 split, that means your stage time is going to be about 0.75 faster.
right.
That's
It's
a dumb thing to focus on.
Right. It's the parlor tricks that gets all the views on Instagram and YouTube and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, like, splitting fast allows you to handle targets and start moving better, but that's like super advanced like things. In general, anyone that I've met who's trying to focus on splits does not do well.
No. And watching if you watch somebody who's really good, their splits usually aren't that impressive.
No, I mean
They're rarely going like it's rarely like that.
Yeah, go watch a Nils Jonasson video. Go watch Lane's old videos. Go watch.
You might see occasional speedy splits on a really close target.
Yeah,
you know.
But in general, watching Nils shoot, he does not appear fast. Like watching it without the understanding of what's going on. Like just watching Nils shoot, it's like, oh yeah, he's kind of awkward, and the bullets kind of shoot out. I say that as I look awkward as fuck when I run around the stage, but he doesn't.
He's a lanky guy. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, but he isn't a split demon. He isn't trying to burn down every target. He almost aims every shot. Like
the one thing the thing that he's so fast at is the time between targets. The transition is just that's the part that's more impressive than splits to me. Is guys who can just go like bop 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 bop, and it doesn't matter how far apart the targets are.
Yeah.
Where they're almost they're not actually maintaining that pace, but it seems like they're just maintaining a cadence no matter how wide the transition is. Like, that is so impressive to me because that's the thing that it's the thing I work the most on because it's the thing I struggle with marksmanship-wise the most is transitions and just having my eyes and sights land in the spot I want them to.
Yep.
And it doesn't always work that way. So, yeah, it's not worth it. But anything else on the hit factor rules?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. I ordered a shirt for Michelle. MW Activewear. MW_active with a K _wear. I ordered I was gonna order the Hit Factor shirt, and I actually messaged her, you gotta do a Hit Factor shirt because I just a Hit Factor because I just like the HV logo. It looks like a superhero logo.
Yeah.
But the more I thought about it, I wanted District 3 more because it's not only the parody of Hunger Games, but it's just literally like a rebel patch. Like, I want patches with that.
Right. Was that the green one with the howler monkey?
On the back, it had the howler monkey. Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, the howler monkey threw me it made me not want it personally, just because I don't identify as a howler monkey. But
the thing is, though, we're all howler monkeys now, Jeff.
I'm not screaming from
No. We all are. It's not. You can't think of it in the old way because the board all thinks of us as howler monkeys. So that's why when I saw that on the back, I loved it. I'm like, yes, I'm going to embrace it because I'm not like the elitist GM howler monkey. I'm the howler monkey according to the board who is like pissing. What are you guys complaining about? We give you a good rule book and a classification system. I don't understand what you have to complain about.
Correct. Ooh,
I'm that kind of howler monkey. What?
Right. I get it. We should make like a classifier and run them at Great Plains section and Cornhusker, and then build a classification system off of it. Oh, you only need a couple.
Well, I mean, mine is still a USPSA match. Did you notice did you see the post I put out today about the on sale for Great Plains?
I think so.
Did you notice the little change I made to the photo? Besides the date that it goes on sale? Because it was the same as an old graphic I put out.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, I put the District 3 logo
yeah, I
over
did,
the
I did
USPSA logo.
I was like, yeah, join the rebellion.
Yeah. No, that's going to be on the shirt this year for sure.
Excellent.
Yeah. No, that if you go on Instagram, Michelle needs a website. She really does.
I believe she built one or building one.
Okay.
But yes, Michelle does awesome shirts. She showed me a gallery she made for shirts. They're awesome shirts. They're super durable. I wear them teaching kickboxing, so they will hold up to as long as you don't rub steel bars across them and tear your shirt up,
or boil them when you wash them. If you boil them, that's probably not good for the ink. But
right. but other than that, I mean, I've worn them in tropical environments. I've worn them at kickboxing. I've worn them in negative 27 degrees. Like, they hold up.
I've got just within the last year, I ended up with 4 of them. I got one for working Great Plains and Cornhusker, and then I got 2 working Area 3, and they're comfortable. I like the shirts a lot. When you order a 2X, you actually get a 2X. If you order an XL, you get an XL. It's like the sizes are, and she goes way the hell up there in sizes too. It's
Yep.
Like she can get really big shirts. I had trouble with that with our local vendor the previous years. They just couldn't get the bigger shirts, and sometimes some big guys want shirts too, and I want to accommodate them, but they couldn't do it. But no, they're fantastic. So definitely. We you think Michelle would be our first sponsor of the show?
Oh hell yeah! Yeah, we need to make a logo and we can put it on the Team Faux shirt.
Yes. Well, I kind of made a logo, but it's not as cool as what she would make. But
she could make it. She'd make a sweet logo.
I like the base logo, but like have her snazz it up.
Oh yeah, no, she's fantastic. I mean, give her an idea. Please make it not red, white, and blue. And she
why not?
Because literally everyone asks for red, white, and blue.
Oh.
Because identity politics, and you need to make sure that you're the most patriotic patriot that has ever patrioted. And so, like, because she'll show me, she'll be like, oh, here's this IDPA match, here's this Steel Challenge match, and I'm sitting there going, they're all red, white, and blue. And she goes, that's what they asked for. And I'm like, I only get red, white, and blue shirts if they are
so
team shirts.
That's not Michelle saying that. That's you saying that, being picky. She's a businesswoman. She doesn't care what color they want. She's just she's gonna give the people what they want.
Right, but she makes awesome designs, and people aren't getting the awesomeness of the designs because they're limiting her by asking for only red, white, and blue.
Well, yeah, but no, they're good. We got them for the section last year for the first time, and yes, they're more expensive than a regular T-shirt, but they're totally worth it. And we actually the thing that surprised me was because we sell the T-shirts from our website, and then we buy them from Michelle, and we use it to help pay for the staff shirts. Just sort of subsidize the staff shirts. And we sold more of Michelle's shirts than the much cheaper T-shirts we sold in previous years. So, and that honestly, that surprised me because I'm price sensitive. I'm a tightwad, so I was a little surprised that they sold better than the regular shirts. But they're a cooler shirt, so
right.
You're getting what you're paying for sure.
Yes, 100%.
They're not stupid priced. Like they're not
tech wear.
They're not $80 shirts. I think we sold them for $40.
Yeah, that sounds about
that was with the markup to help subsidize the staff shirts. So like they're very reasonably priced.
And I'll be honest, it might have gone up because inflation, all that fun stuff. But they're relatively cheap, and like to any of the match directors listening, one thing my club did, and they are Michelle shirts, is we bought staff shirts, and so everyone who works a staff work staff at ENPS gets one of these shirts, and they can wear them for our USPSA match, for our Steel Challenge match, and they can wear them multiple years because you normally have a similar crew working. And so
you're talking about club matches.
Well, our majors and our club matches.
Oh, okay.
Since you worked at, you have the blue one with the racing stripes.
Yeah,
or
the checkers on the shoulders.
The checkers. Yeah, that we use that for every one of our major matches now.
Oh. Well, so both of your majors were called Cornhusker Classics, so that helps.
Well, yeah, it's branded that way, but at the end of the day, like if you look at them, I think ours might say Cornhusker on them, but like other than that,
it's an ENGC shirt though, mostly.
Yes, and so it's an idea for any match directors or who might be listening who has the same crew every year. Just buy the shirt, pick a range officer shirt and have them get their name on the back of it, and then they just have them wear it for whatever matches they end up working for.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to buy new match shirts every year.
So I'm not getting a new shirt this year at Cornhusker when I work it? Well, that's probably okay. Not. I'll wear last year's. That's fine. That's
You might
actually
get-
no, that's smart. I'm on board with that. Like, I'm a match director. I understand how this works. The shirts are not. They're one of the more expensive things. The staff shirts are one of the more expensive things on the list of things that have to be bought.
Yeah.
It's not cheap, but like your staff really needs to have their own shirt. You know, they
Yeah.
really do, just so everybody understands who the staff members are working the stage. So, and when they're more of a jersey style than a t-shirt, it does help stand out. Like Cornhusker, they're so distinct, and same with Area 3. They were so completely distinct. Like there was no question who was staff. And
Exactly.
that's very nice as a shooter to know, okay, who do I go talk to?
Right, and actually stand out versus the like. Well, that shirt's orange and those ones are red, so I think the orange guys are the ones I'm supposed to talk
Yeah.
to, or sometimes they were just the same shirt, and you're like, are you guys? I guess you're staff because you have a timer, but are you a competitor?
By the way, the Great Plains Section Championship goes on sale this coming Saturday, January 20th at 10 a.m. It's going to be a banger of a match. It's going to be the same great match we've had for the last 3 years, but it's going to be a level 1 match, and that's part of our protest USPSA that we don't like what they did with our Area 3 director by shit canning him. So it goes on sale. Match fee is $124. That will get you the match fee. It will get you a snazzy MW activewear. Or no, that's not included. That's extra. Sorry. If you work the match, you get one of those. I almost said something that's not part of the package. It gets you the match, and it does get you lunch, and it gets a
nice
prize table. And our lunch, we do the boxes from Subway, which is an idea I ripped off from you guys in Omaha because I saw how easy that was, and it's the best way to do lunch in a match. Like food trucks are cool, but they're slow and a pain in the ass. So you're gonna get a Subway box with a cookie and a bag of chips. It's gonna be a nice light lunch. It's not gonna bog you down. It'll be a great lunch to go shoot the afternoon with. So. And people have said that our match is good and they like it. We're friends, Jeff, but you said that kind of. We were friends when I had the first one, I guess, too.
No, I mean we were at the time we were acquaintances. But I honestly think that especially the first year's match was probably the best match I shot that year. Not like the way I finished, but I just enjoyed all of the stages. The second year, I fell down, so that kind of made me sad. And then last year had too many unloaded starts, but
last okay, if it wasn't for the unloaded starts, how was last year? If you take the unloaded starts out of it,
it was good.
Okay. There will be no unloaded starts this year, I promise. No unloaded starts. That was an oversight and miscommunication between me and Scott. Just there was supposed to be like 1 or 2. And a copy paste error in stage briefs caused there to be 5 or 6 out of 12 stages. So,
but no, it is one of the better matches. It runs very efficiently. So far, we've had, knock on wood, we've had good weather.
It was a little chilly the first year. Or
Yeah.
not the first year. The second year was chilly because it was the first time we had it in May. It is in May. It's May 18th, 19th, I think, this year. Or 19th, 18th, 19th. South Dakota in May is sort of like, it's not going to snow, but it might not be great. You know, it could be like 48 and raining. So,
Yep.
We're not in the heart of summer. Last year, the weather was fantastic. The year before, it was cool, but it wasn't raining. It was just it was like in the 40s, and it wasn't that windy. It wasn't too bad. First year was hot as balls because it was in the middle of July. But no, we're gonna do our level best to put on a kick-ass match once again, and there will be prize table. I'm still ironing out how the prize table is gonna work. I like and I don't like the way like you guys in Area 3 did prize table. It's very efficient from a match management standpoint.
Yeah,
Very efficient, but it just sort of, I feel like it sort of diminishes the event when it's like thrown to the side like that a little bit. I don't mean that negatively. You get what I mean, though? It just feels like this is less of an event when it's done that way.
It takes away that like pomp and circumstance around it.
A little bit, yeah.
But at the same time, like having sat there and not won anything. And
Right.
Gone, why the fuck
Yeah.
did I stay
That's
for this? This is
I'm
dumb."
very torn.
Right. Like I like the efficiency. Okay, so I like the efficiency how Cornhusker did it, where like you got done shooting the stage, then you went over and like pulled they had like the lottery balls, and you pulled
Yeah.
it out, and like that number was associated with a prize. I like that method. The way they did it, Area 3 caused a certain Stephen Tomlinson friend of mine to get interrupted during his make ready, and he then proceeded to forget a target, and it basically fucked his day. So I didn't like that part, because they would just come over and like stop a squad in the middle of what it was doing and like do it. What they should have done is like, once your squad finishes with chrono, come over to the shed. We'll do the prize draw as like a squad, and then you guys will continue to Bay 1.
They kind of did it that way at Iowa too, but if I remember right, they did it like right at the beginning or at the very end when everybody was done. They didn't interrupt the squad to do it.
Yeah, whereas I think Steven was our first shooter, and like I forget if they told him make ready or if they were like, shooter, come to the line, and they like so he was like getting prepped up for it, and they like came up and stopped him and was like, oh hey, let's do this, and then he forgot a target.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck you guys. Like,
Well,
he should get a reshoot. But
it's an honest mistake on match management. I would not have thought of that until you just told me that.
yeah.
You know,
So,
it's one of those oversight
learned.
things. Yeah, exactly. I mean, nothing's ever totally and completely perfect, but I just want to remind you and Steven that I beat both of you at Iowa section. That's all. Okay.
maybe I won't volunteer to RO the ROs.
Oh, come on. We'll need the help. I think that's it. Did we hit everything? Did we do enough damage tonight, Jeff?
Yeah, we hit everything and a few others.
Okay. All right. He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show.